It has never been more clear as we get a huge report coming from NHL insider Pierre LeBrun revealing the Vancouver Canucks management's decision on what they're doing with Elias Pettersson heading into July 1st. While we also get a huge update on the Abbotsford Canucks, including one player in particular set to make AHL history. We're going to break down all this on Elias Pettersson's trade front, exactly what the Canucks are doing with Pettersson heading into this year's July 1st before his no moving clause kicks in, and everything to do with Abbotsford later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're part of the 64% watching this and you haven't hit that sub button yet, it's completely free, and in return we'll give you updates on everything to do around the Vancouver Canucks, Abbotsford Canucks draft, free agency, July 1st when free agency opens. We'll keep updated on everything to do around your favorite team, the Vancouver Canucks. So go down and hit that free subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today. Now, before we get into exactly what Pierre LeBrun said on Elias Pettersson and the Vancouver Canucks decision going into July 1st, let's just hop straight in and speak on the Abbotsford Canucks. I wanted to touch on first the fact that you can watch Game 1 for free. The Abbotsford Canucks will have this streaming Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. PT. Go check this game out. The Abbotsford Canucks make it to the Calder Cup finals, and there's a lot to talk about with Abby heading into this game. The first thing being Linus Karlsson is on pace to set history, and he's going to break the record for the most goals by a Swedish player in a single playoff run. The second currently sits at 10, and it's held by Johansson and Anderson. Now, looking at Linus Karlsson, he has been outstanding. 9 goals in 18 games, almost a point per game for the Abbotsford Canucks as they chase to win the Calder Trophy. Seeing him on pace to break the record for the most goals by a Swedish player is incredible, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is hoisting the Calder Cup trophy in Abbotsford and winning this and bringing it back to Vancouver. Now, the biggest thing is Karlsson has been dominating so far, not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs as well. 23 goals, 16 assists for 39 points in 32 games. We've seen him with the Vancouver Canucks this year, 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 total points. Getting his first AHL goal, a third-round pick, 87, overall in 2018. Linus Karlsson is someone that's set to make the Vancouver Canucks roster. There's a lot of guys, and I'm going to touch on them shortly, but with the Canucks and management trying to figure out what to do with this team, there's going to be some key players in Abbotsford that are set to step up. Karlsson is one name that could very much make this bottom 6 a workhorse, someone that's not the fastest, but was loved last year when in the lineup. I mean, we've seen it last year with 3 goals and 3 assists, playing in bottom 6 minutes. The big thing is there's a lot of guys stepping up. Archie Baines, who I touched on in a recent video. Sammy Blais, who could be re-signed, is an awesome player the Canucks added. You can work your way down. There's a lot of young guys. There's some veterans. There's even Victor Mancini, who's not a forward, but I love talking about Vittorio Mancini. These kids, these guys are going to be main parts of this Canucks future, and seeing this unfold versus the Checkers in the finals is much watch. I couldn't even say how excited I am, but listen, the big thing is go check this game out. It's going to be awesome. Game 1, you have to watch it. It's live on social. Everything's on your screen. You have no reason not to watch this. Go ahead and leave a comment. What do you think the scores of the game's going to be? Do you think we're going to see Karlsson set the record for the most goals by a Swedish player in the AHL? Do you think he makes the Canucks next year? Who do you think the MVP of the playoffs has been? Go down and leave a comment on all that down below. But we'll get right into what everyone clicked on this video for, and that is the Elias Pettersson update. Now, we know with Pettersson, there's been a lot of rumors going around. The Canucks are moving him. There's teams calling on him. Pierre LeBrun of TSN gave a huge update in his article today. I'm going to link that down below. And he went out to speak on it. Never say never, but all signs point to the Canucks keeping Elias Pettersson. The full no movement clause kicks in July 1st. The Canucks are encouraged by Pettersson's approach this offseason. Now, we know before Rick Tocchet left, when Adam Foote ended up taking over, even management challenged Pettersson to be a better player. And we know that he's continuing. He stayed in Vancouver sometime. He came back to Vancouver. We know he's doing everything he can to get into better shape to go into next year. The first game of the season, he's hoping to be a new player, and he needs to be. It continues on where we see they were monitoring the situation given how thin the UFA market is, but it sounds like Vancouver wants to keep him. So after all this, the rumors, the speculations, it does seem like Pettersson will be staying put. And listen, there's a lot of you that's not going to be pleased on this. I'm going to try to talk to you into why I think it's good and why I think it could be bad. But as of right now, PD is a part of the Vancouver Canucks, and all signs are pointing towards him staying here. Now, the biggest thing is, and one thing, the biggest elephant in the room is his big contract. 7th highest paid player next year, and this is before extensions are signed. We might see some people get overpaid, but right now PD is sitting number 7 ahead of Erik Karlsson, Igor Shesterkin, William Nylander. There's a lot of guys here just underpaid, from guys like Panarin, Rantanen, and McKinnon, McDavid. These guys are all stars in this league, and we need to see Pettersson get back to that point, because yes, at one point he was a star in this league. We've seen it before. Getting into just his stats, we've seen the 100-point season. We've seen what he can do: 102 points, 39 goals, 34 goals, 32 goals. We know Petey can be a 30-goal scorer. We've seen him put up over a point per game or at a point per game. Petey can get to this again. 26 years old, 5th overall pick. Yes, it was a terrible year. 45 points in 64 games. There's no sugarcoating it. This was a very underproductive season by Elias Pettersson. But the biggest thing is on what happens in the future. Right now, we have a team with Elias Pettersson as the number 1 center. If he goes up to put up 45 or sub 45 points, the Canucks are screwed. Let's be honest. Once that July 1st no movement clause kicks in, he decides everything. If he wants to be moved, if he wants to be waived, he can decide his future. If he wanted to stay with the Canucks, he could veto every single trade that the Vancouver Canucks throws his way. So this is a big decision for the Canucks team going into next year, going into July 1st, which is only, 3 weeks away at this point. This is a huge step in either direction. But like I said, with the reports, it seems like he's going to stay. We see that teams were calling. There's a thin UFA market, which we're going to touch on shortly. Vancouver seems to want to keep him. Everything is pointing towards it, because the big thing is, when looking at the center market hitting July 1st, there's a lot of names there, but a lot of names that do not fit on this Canucks team like Elias Pettersson does. John Tavares would be awesome, set to return to Toronto. Nick Backstrom is set to retire. Claude Giroux is going back to Ottawa. Mikael Granlund is someone that is interesting but cannot take over a first-line center role. We've seen it with the San Jose Sharks. They were bottom in the league. Now, it's not a very good team built around him, but right now, looking at the list, yes, Sam Bennett would be awesome. But would you like to try to overpay Sam Bennett? Do you want to give Sam Bennett 10+ million to try to pry him out of Florida? With the reports coming out, it seems like it's down to either the Florida Panthers, who are the clear favorites, or the Toronto Maple Leafs. So going into a bidding war to get someone that, in my personal opinion, a lot of guys might disagree with this. Go down and leave a comment if you do disagree. I think Elias Pettersson is better than everyone on this list. Once again, going through, there's young guys. You can go out and get a McTavish type player, but he's an RFA. You're paying a boatload. You got to give up contracts, picks, everything in between with Elias Pettersson on this roster. Yes, I could be wrong. He could go out and have a sub 40-point season, like I said, and this video will make me feel and look stupid. I'm sure I've looked stupid quite a few times, but the biggest thing is, Pettersson is set to stay. This is a Canucks team that needs to build around him. We need to see him come in to training camp as a new player. He can get back to it. We've seen it before, not his contract. Whoops. When we look at the stats, 102 points. If we get this Pettersson again, this is a team that could be sneakily once again contending for a cup. Yes, you need to fill out the roster around him. The defense looks great. We have a two-headed monster between the pipes. 3 if you want to include Chilovs. It all falls on Pettersson. But what's your guys' thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on the reports coming out from Pierre LeBrun just speaking on Pettersson and saying the Canucks want to keep him? What is your thoughts on Linus Karlsson set to break a record for Swedish players in the AHL? What's your thoughts on the Abbotsford Canucks? There's so much to talk about, and you guys aren't going to want to miss it. So go ahead and leave a comment on everything I spoke on. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark. Bye, and take care.